Good afternoon, and welcome to your pastor's message for Thursday, June 18th, First Congregational Church, Milford. Well, there is a lot going on as usual. All the garden friends have been here and about and doing all of their beautiful work, and our grounds are more beautiful than ever. So I hope you've taken time to come down and wander around through the gardens and see all the glorious work that the garden friends and God have been up to. So we're still looking for readers, even though we're into our summer schedule now and we're kind of eased back a little bit, and we're not going to be quite so strict on the lectionary and on our readings and our worship. We're going to just kind of branch out into some things that just kind of interest us. But we're still looking for readers. And if you're interested in reading, just get in touch with the church office and let us know. And we'll tell you what you need to do. It's pretty easy. It can be a lot of fun. We might even do some of the readings outdoors when we start going. Speaking of outdoors, we're planning to do our very first outdoor worship of the season on Sunday, July 5th. That'll be the first Sunday in July, which means, yes, it will be a communion Sunday, and that'll take a couple of extra steps. We will ask everyone who's coming to bring their own lawn chair, and that make sure you bring your mask. There will not be any singing, but I'm sure there will be music, and I'm sure that we will have some kind of a worship service that will feel more together. I saw something yesterday in the daily UCC daily devotional that gets sent out by email. And this is from John Edgerton, who's one of the still speaking writers, but it really resonated with me, and I hope it's helpful to you. Abraham rose from beside his dead wife and spoke to the Hittites. I am a foreigner and stranger among you. Sell me some property for a burial site here, so I can bury my dead. The Hittites replied to Abraham, No, none of us will refuse you this tomb for burying your dead. But again, Abraham said, I will pay the price of the field. That comes from Genesis 23, 3 through 13, from the New International Version, excerpts thereof. Our nation and our churches are awash in grief. Grief for lost loved ones. Grief for lost traditions. Grief for lost futures. Grief for lost time. Grief that goes on and on. Grief can seem a backwards thing. It makes Abraham insist on paying handsomely what would have been freely given. When the Hittites offer to share in some of Abraham's grief, his response is, No, this is mine. Abraham was right to insist on grieving his own way, and the Hittites were right to allow him to do so. They offered what help they could imagine, and then they had the grace to take no for an answer. If you are in the grips of grief today, remember the example of Abraham. You can grieve your own way, even if it doesn't make sense to any others, even if it's costly. As you encounter other people, know that they are all in grief. Our whole nation is swimming in grief. Remember the example of the Hittites. Offer what help you can imagine, and then have the grace to take no for an answer. And the prayer he offers is, God of grace, comfort those in grief. Amen. Please join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. So we are assembling a team from the deacons, the trustees, the church council, and the musicians to begin to think about what worship will look like when we can get back together. We are beginning to consider when and how we will get back together, and this team will be the ones to make the decisions on going forward. I will not make the decision on my own without the assistance of the deacons, the trustees, and the church council. So until we meet again, be well, take care of each other, take care of yourself, and give yourself time to grieve. Goodbye and amen.